Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another H-Pirates 2 Definitive Edition replay. Spawn on the right side as the yellow Byzantians, we have LukeCage. Let's switch over to this one, here we go. And spawn on the left side as the green Byzantians, we have Nino Angelo. So let's cover each player's civilization bonuses. Byzantians, defensive civilization. Buildings cost get additional health, 10, 20, 30, 40%. Camel riders, skirmishers, pikemen cost, and halberdiers cost 25% less, so it makes your counter units even cheaper. And your trash units primarily. Fire ships and dromos attack 25% faster. Advanced next age costs less, and town watch, town patrol are free. Nothing too significant there, but that's quite nice having those technologies free. Unit is a cataphract, which is a heavy cav that has weird armor types, if I remember correctly. Unique text, Greek fire. Fire ships get +1 range, and dromos and bombards have blast damage. Over here as well, we have Logistica. Cataphracts cause tropical damage. Monks heal faster as a team bonus. And since they're both Byzantians, they have the same bonus there. We got Militia Rush here. They do club a lion. It's not necessarily seal clubbing, but it's a little something similar. I suppose clubbing us lions a little bit more difficult. Militia now advancing on forward, trying to cascade a harassment in. Green's trying to quickly build up some walls now, or housing for his active walls. And so both Byzantians, these walls do have increased health, does get a good engagement here. Using a scout to absorb a lot of shots, allowing the village to shank the militia, and both militia do go down. Unusual amount of militia. 2's not a massive number. You see 3 or 4, but 2 is a small number. Of course, it does make Green Scout pretty wounded. Yellow Scout can now easily win a fight between the two. And Yellow's currently just building villagers. And since both sides are just macroing up, let's go and switch around. Got more villagers, got defensive pikemen for Green, very nice. Yellow does have an archery range here. He may be eyeing for defensive skirmishers, maybe. Green starting to eye some farms. Both sides just equaling up quite nicely. So you have yellow select this, we'll switch over to green. Green's just going for more villagers as well. Let's fast forward a little bit more. It all depends on who's going to start playing directions when the game really starts getting interesting. Spearman going from scouting there, very nice. And looks like green is eyeing for Castle Age, and now yellow also has Castle Age on the build queue much quicker. So we're now going to see some aggression probably. We do got a line of skirmishers here. He may be eyeing for some elite skirmishers. And there's the castle wage for yellow. We're seeing the monsters. Both sides eyeing a... maybe he's going to eye some relics right now. Got a monster here. Both players are eyeing for relics, but yellow has a scout alive. Green does not. But we do have knights on field. A good number of knights. I do got a bit of a hit squad of knights push way forward. We do have 1 skirmisher in reserve and 4 skirmishers still in reserve here. Suppose we probably could take a quick look at relic placement. Yellow does pick up a relic there. Green does have the patrol move with that relic there, and there's a relic here. This one's contestable. What has yellow has spotted? Yellow has not spotted this relic up here. Does spot this these 2 here, so he may be eyeing for 3 relics in the end. Does claim himself a knight there, and the monk will go ahead and get hacked apart. Another oops, clicked off the screen. Another town center has been pulled up by yellow. What does green see? Green does see these relics as well, so both sides know about 3 relics each. Yellow, of course, has picked up 1. And green is playing on monk. That's a deer walking towards relic, not a monk. And green has a significant number of knights. What does yellow have at the moment? Villagers and more monks on the build queue. Byzantians, what monk technologies can they get? I do not have a waifu. Sorry, I just saw your Rumble chat. We do now have the knights now try and pursue yellow's knights. We have green's knights now advancing on forward. We've got this monk here. He's going to be hacked apart very quickly. And yellow has only got villagers in the build queue. No spearmen whatsoever. And he's got spearmen, halberdier, pikemen, and all those melee forces. We do have a good number of defensive monks here. The only technology Byzantians can't get is herbal medicine, for the most useless technology in most games. Even more so than reduced tribute penalty in a 1v1, probably. Even then, you probably won't get either research. You have more monks, or not monks, more relics being picked up by Yellow. This one should be a run on way back home. Yellow does spot this relic up here. That's does skim a little bit, and does lose a scout there. Does spot all these knights now advancing on forward. And now I do have monk does get conversion there. Will lose the monk. Got some more monks trying to get some conversions off. That will ward away these knights. And Yellow's designed for more villagers, not even getting any additional monks on the build queue. You may get 2 converted there. He does get 2 converted there, does lose both of those monks, but now Yellow has a superior number of knights yet on the field. And he deployed out none of them. We've got 4 knights here versus 3. Yellow has more health. Okay, there's more green knights mates forward. Yellow's not lying for cav archers. I don't agree with that, because knights right now have 4 pierce armor. Let's see, can not get bloodlines. Do have a mark going on up the field. He's really delayed building any sort of military units. He's getting pikeman research. He needs more barracks. He should have got up more spearmen a long time ago. He knows he's finally gets a good number of knights. Council is now finding a couple arrows there. Got a pair of stone miners in there. Knight's not going to be repositioned there. It does. Ooh, wait, that relic was right there, wasn't there? This relic being claimed. This relic has not been claimed. So green even took a swipe at that relic that was right there. And yellow may lose this relic still because he simply does not have any spearmen. Do not have a handful of pikemen before on field. He's been way too late on production. They're also dirt cheap for Byzantians. Let's see, they are 25% cheaper at this moment in time. We don't have any additional monks push way forward. He's trying to now hack part down this house. And those, of course, have additional health because they're Byzantian. And now got the monks trying to get some conversions off. He's going to brave the monks. Does get a conversion there. Looks like he did a joint conversion. Has a handful of pikemen here. 10. There's 14 knights here. That's not enough pikemen. You need a superior number of pikemen engaged knights. Knights do win out this pikeman on 1v1. Not pretty though. But if he doesn't kill them off immediately, they're going to rack some serious damage here. He's trying to repair up this house. He needs to start repairing up the barracks. He still needs barracks for production. He's lacking production of any more pikemen. They do find a good choke point there, which actually is going to be very important for the pikemen there to keep the breach closed. And now he needs to get that breach repaired or replaced. Do now have this knight advance forward. Does get a good stab there. And now he's just going for defensive castle there. Very nice. He can pull out some cataphract. We got Imperial Age for yellow as well. He does currently have 1 melee armor, well, melee damage, no melee armor for anything else. Minimal blacksmith technologies. Green right now is eyeing for more villager production. Yellow's been maintaining good villager production, that's for sure. But I think he skimped down military a bit too much throughout the entire game. But it is paying off. Green has claimed that relic there. Yellow's claimed the 1. And where's that last remaining relic? The Yellow's monastery is right here. Yep, there we go. Green has claimed 4 relics. He did manage to steal that one as well. That is going to cause a bit of a problem. The longer the game goes on, the more gold Green will obtain through the relic tithe. Yellow is starting to secure up this gold deposit. There's also another gold deposit here. Yellow's gold deposit is actually forward. So needs to start advancing up the map. Perhaps start securing up this gold deposit as well. With a castle, he can go grab the stone deposit as well. But since Yellow has lost a number of relics, he needs to start eyeing for the gold deposits on the ground. Doom getting great gauge of it here with the pikemen. Of course, you need a lot of pikemen. He doesn't have squires yet, does he? Yeah, he doesn't have squires yet, so these pikemen don't move all too quickly.
Impero.
We do now have these knights getting much needed healing. And remember, the Byzantian, they get increased heal rate, so we actually have monks can act as medics for these knights. And that little engagement there is probably very good for green, able to get so many wounded knights back home and do some and take out most of those pikemen at the moment. We now have Imperial Age for green. Yellow has Imperial Age. Going for skirmishers, which okay. Wheelbarrow, Bodkin arrows. This is going to go for mass trash. He's going to try to eye for some field control, eye for these gold deposits, and try to bleed his opponent's gold and reserves dry with trash. Throw bodies at the opponent. He can't afford an army then. Does get some of these pikemen converted there. In fact, the pikemen are engaging the pikemen there. Very nice. That was a great engagement there for green as well. Even getting himself free pikemen. We are seeing some crossbows now being pulled on the field. Can they get up the arbalist? They can't get the arbalist, they can get bracer and leather armor, so they can get fully kitted out arbalists. The Greek fire is not going to be useful. I don't think blast tower or bombard towers will be deployed out. Logistica could be useful. Yellow could start transition to cataphracts. Now got Imperial Age for green. He does get this breach repaired. They can get off the paladins. Cavaliers likely on the build queue soon for green with the number of knights he has on the field. We have halberdiers for yellow as well, able to get some good damage on in. Finds these guys getting stuck there. He is now trapped in there with a bunch of guys with big pointy sticks. Does manage to make through a breach up north. Does destroy this opening there. May want to eye for palisade wall there just simply to control the breach. Of course, we got a castle here. He also trying to claim this forward gold. He needs to start eyeing securing up the stone and gold as well. Prince going on a defensive castle over here will help him secure up the stone deposit, which is enough stone there for another castle. Arbalest now being pulled up by green. Yellow has a good number of skirmisher production, if I remember correctly, as well. So he's going full trash, which is good. In that case, he may want to keep his villager count a little bit low so he gets more trash on the field. His opponent has less villagers on the mount as well. I think good idea for yellow not deploying more villagers. Yes, he's not deploying out more villagers. He's going full trash. Keeps going up. We do also have some additional housing there. Might want to put out a line of palisade walls there, just help control this region. Yellow's now facing forward with a mix of halberdier and skirmisher. Skirmishers have been upgraded with bracer, so able to spit damage there. Takes out the lion, the exotic kitty cat. And overall, yellow has a pretty good counterforce there. Knights can't really go forward with these halberdiers in region, and the skirmishers whittle away the arbalists. They do have the same range, so overall, yellow has inferior quality of army, but has a situational better army. How knights are advancing forward, will get poked quite a bit by these halberdiers, almost killing them both. It slices apart a farm, apparently. Really want to slice those potatoes. Halberdier does receive a lot of arrows in his back, and now we've got some villagers advancing on forward. Villagers do have 2 inherent pierce armor. Skirmishers have 7 attacks, so do okay damage versus villagers. Though it looks like it does not have ballistics similar. No, yeah, it does have ballistics. It looks like a lot of spears are missing, however. Trebuchet is a good item to counter buildings. He has a nice little counter army. Can counter the range, can counter the cavalry, can counter the buildings. Simply doesn't have anything to counter swordsmen. Or mangonels. Let's see, is he starting to transition to a swordsman-based military? Not likely. He can't get up with champions. Can't get the final melee attack, but against halberdier and skirmishers, you don't really need that. We got these arbalists advancing forward, trying to find a good engagement out there under these halberdiers. Green really needs an eye for a mangonel. In his own elite skirmisher research, Town Center now seeing a pretty good volume of tap there. And Town Center does go, or receive a lot of damage there. He is also at pop cap as well, needs to build some more housing there. All these relics now been evacuated. Yo, could he try getting out some monks to the front line?
Ein.
Yeah, it highlighted a bunch of green monks there, not yellow monks. Green now has a handful of skirmishers out on his own, which would be a good item to support his own arbalists. So if he can draw fire first, he pushes them forward. And generally, the skirmishers on A move forward, which is very good. Halberdiers are poking down housing. They have home wreckers, they are. And right now, he's doing a good job of pop capping supply population blocking his opponent. Green still needs to pull some light cavalry wouldn't hurt. That's a good item. They can't go up the... No, they can't go up the Hussars. But right now, he has a pop cap. He needs to pull out just a bunch of housing there. Yes, we do. We see a keep castle there. That will get 520 housing as well. Light cavalry not being put on the field. Now Green's starting to reinforce. They do have some villager count right now, so he doesn't really need these villagers in the build queue at the moment. Green has another keep over here. And now it's going to receive some fire from these trebuchets.
Impero.
Light cavalry, of course, can hit those skirmishers quite well, but cannot hit these halberdiers all too well. We do have 6 pierce armor at the moment. Skirmishers have 7 attacks, so do 1 damage each. Castles are seeing quite a bit of damage right there. Got the knights pushing forward. He still needs a mangonel. Try and get out another trebuchet. Knights do find engagement on the skirmishers, getting some damage on in. Halberdiers time to retaliate. Light cavalry charging forward. They may want to focus on the trebuchets, honestly, first. Skirmishers advancing forward as well. Arbalists is still a little bit far behind. Skirmishers are being drawn to fire there. He's got to just use this army. He's losing too much infrastructure at the moment. He's got to lose some armies to whittle down his opponent. He's been a little bit too passive dealing with this assault. Green has a spearman stabbing down the trebuchet. Castle hosting quite a bit of fire there. And Green does try to grab some relics. Yellow's ground army has been cleaned up. Now the trebuchets will take out the castle before they go down themselves. Yellow's monk trying to advance forward, try to grab some relics. I don't think he was successful grabbing any. Green starters has stabilized. So a good number of relics here. He has reclaimed 1. He's got another monk to get the other ones reclaimed. Of course, he needs to lose some population to do that. Got another counter army advancing on forward. Arbalest getting some good damage there. Light cavalry charging forward, trying to go for the skirmishers. Halberdiers rolling some fire there. Light cavalry now advancing forward. Got more light cavalry now coming to counter. Getting some good damage on the front line. Green has a massive concave here, so whatever remains will be focused on quite quickly. Yellow needs to take time, regroup, and reinforce. We do got a massive queue of units deployed out on the queue for Green, so he can replace his losses quickly. Well, I'm not funding him, that's another question. Now I do have some cataracts being deployed on the field. That will be an excellent item. He does have a good number of keeps to deploy them out as well. Got some monks here by Yellow. So there is a good defensive point there. He does lack production compared to his opponent. There's the cataphracts. Oh, no, those are light cavalry. I'm not sure the cataphracts are at the moment. He does. There they are. He does have elite cataphracts as well. They do have only 3 pierce armor, so they can actually take quite a bit of abuse from those arbalists. He's now getting out more horse armor, making Bethesda proud. Azar's advancing on forward. And does find a breach there, though they're not going to last all too long. They do go down, get minimal damage. Will Green start to play on its own halberdiers? We are seeing the elite cataphract research. I wonder if Yellow has the cataphract trample dash damage. That would be very useful for these tight cluster units. He needs to use those spread formation, these forces. Does get some siege workshops deployed on the field, maybe eyeing for either banner rams or mangonels. They can go up to onagers. They can't get siege engineers, but they can go up to onagers, not siege onagers. Cataphracts now advancing on forward, trying to overrun these forces. Seeing quite a bit of damage there. Just need to let them go. ripping apart through the front line of skirmishers. Got a good number of defensive line skirmishers as well in the background. Got monks now trying to get some conversions off, but maybe hard to actually get the converting. Depends how quickly the Magnos or Cataphracts go down. Does do a nice little evac there with his Arbalest. The skirmishers all go down. The Halberdiers now trying to go through that little breach. This is a very important gold deposit as well. Denying that gold deposit from Green could be problematic. Green starts building up more Cataphracts zone and getting on more of his own Arbalest. Cataphracts has breached on forward. He may want to start focusing on this castle. Got some barracks not being blown up by Green. He needs to get out his own Halberdiers against these Cataphracts. Of course, with their weird armor type, does make it a little bit hard to kill, but they're still very resilient. Or, not resilient, but a little bit vulnerable to them still. Does have this keep nearly fully garrisoned with Arbalest, so it has a massive arrow fire. Fire 16 arrows per volley, but now I do have 8 trebuchet firing away. It does have 8,000 health. Remember, it's Byzantians. They have a lot of extra health. Let's see, Green. What sort of university text do we have? We can't get up the architect, can't get that. Does have a treadmill. Does have hoarding, so there's increased health there as well. Yellow trebuchets are setting on up. It'll take a bit of time to destroy that castle. Yellow's going to his own frontline castle as well. Yellow still has a good number of skirmishers here. He has as well as Halberdiers being a bit more gold efficient. Yellow has just spent a massive reserve of gold, about 1,000 something. There we go, Cataphracts. He's putting up a bunch of Cataphracts, Hussars, pikemen, skirmishers. Those lose all these villagers. Need to cancel the castle. More reinforcements not being deployed out by Yellow. The Hussars will be useful versus these Arbalists, that's for sure, as well as the Cataphracts. Cataphracts only have 5 pierce armor, Hussars do have 6. Gonna make their advance, trying to overrun these forces. He has his Halberdiers to help hit these Cataphracts well. I do believe Green does have the trample damage research. Can't say about his opponent. It's sort of hard to tell. Nope, Yellow does not have trample damage, I believe. So I believe Green does have trample damage, Yellow does not. Looks like Yellow's starting to empty out his reserve of gold. Let's see about the other gold deposits. This one's still being claimed by Green. Has a couple of watchtowers here. Got Green claiming that stone. Gold deposit being claimed by Green on the front line. This gold deposit being cleaned up as well. Yellow's running out of gold on the side of the map. Oh, this one's still pretty healthy there. I don't know if Green has any other gold deposit. He does have, of course, those 4 relics, which is very important. This fight can still go either way. Both sides throwing a lot of gold in this fight. Green's pulling out more trash, or Yellow's pulling out more trash, which is important since he has less gold for those relics. Also doing a good job mixing Hussars, which are also a bit more of a counter to these Arbalists, as well as skirmishers. Right now the villager count is definitely favored Green, but that also means he deploys a smaller military force. Green does... Yellow has actually a pretty good reserve of food and gold. Has no wood income at the moment? Question mark? He does actually have some wood income there. We got a keep or castle being fought up by Green up here. Very nice. Yellow may need to eye for more wood income of all resources. Green does not have murder holes. Yellow does not have murder holes either. Got some bombards advancing forward. Big wave of Cataphracts not being blown up by Yellow. Castle up here could be overrun by those Cataphracts. Does have these towers firing with a handful of villagers inside. Then we're going to be making our way down this castle. Halberdiers pushing forward. Looks like even Halberdiers are not hitting these crossbows. I think Yellow's starting to win this fight. Of course, got this northern little flank there, picking off some of these villagers. Yellow at this point in time, I think he has 2 little villagers. I think Green has too many villagers, so both players need to change their villager count. So I suppose he can sacrifice some by collecting up some gold. Hussars now moving around the flank, finding some random green villagers there. Right now, Yellow stabilized the back line there, taking those Hussars, falling back this front line there. Too many cataphracts in this region. Going for a big line of Hussars and Halberdiers. Yellow still has a significant reserve of gold. Green does not have a significant reserve of gold. Has a good amount of wood, that's for sure. Speaking of wood, okay, Yellow has consumed that wood line. Yellow needs this wood line right there. Yellow's actually running out of wood on the side of this map. Another critical problem, because that's a critical resource when fighting with your trash. After all, your trash was replaced to have no gold, and right now he's having trouble with wood. Let's spot this bombard there. Starting to make his way down south. Yellow's keep is starting to go down. Got these villagers starting to be picked apart. There's a tiny bit about gold there. It's about 200 gold, which Green looks like he will claim for himself. Yellow's going to try to claim what he can. Yellow's starting to queue up some more villagers. Very good. Villagers trying to repair up the keep there. We've got these Hussars going to try to stop them from repairing up the keep. Down south, got some more Hussars trying to advance around, spreading Green a little bit thin. But Green is claiming this northern gold, what's left of it. He's also claiming this gold from back here. He still has about 800 gold, which is very important. But right now, Yellow needs to start eyeing to claim another wood deposit. He's just running out of wood. This wood could be utilized to start to get a lumber camp there. Hussars advance up forward, but there's a good number of cataphracts in this region. Yellow does have a good number of halberdiers in the region. Trying to close a breach there. Looks like he does go break through the breach, trying to hit these trebuchets. Looks like he will lose one of the trebuchets. He will save the other. Green's castle does go down. Now Green has to play on some battering rams. We got a lumber camp here. Green's even stealing this lumber. Green may have an idea that his opponent's actually running low on lumber on the side of this map. So he's actually trying to steal as much lumber from his opponent, which is very, very intelligent. Right now, village count was at a brief moment exactly the same at 113. Cataphracts, Green's Cataphracts getting some good damage on in. Maybe it'll get some good AoE damage on these skirmishers. Yes, it will. And these skirmishers on the whole ground stance, so they're not actually hitting these cataphracts, and they get annihilated thanks to the splash damage, the trample damage. Oh boy, that's a lot of dead skirmishers there. Yellow's eyeing for more production structures at the moment, more stables going to transfer to mass Hussar. Hussar, the cavalry has arrived, right? I wonder if that's actually the origin of that saying now, thinking about it. Green's trying to claim this from northern lumber. This lumber is untouched, unpolluted by human hands. Perfect to be polluted by Green. So right now, Green is aggressively denying his opponent's wood, future wood deposits. Right now, Yellow has a small amount of wood in reserve. Green has a big reserve of wood. So he's actually struggling a little bit on food. And has a small reserve of gold, but with thanks to relics, he will maintain decent gold income compared to his opponent. He's starting to lose a lot of his cataphracts right now. Do have a potential fortified walls there. So looks like Green's eyeing to blow out some stone walls there. Yellow's not going to be trying to claim this gold wood deposit there. There's some wood deposits he could potentially break through as well. Hussars advancing forward, trying to gain a good engagement, trying to overrun that trebuchet. Very nice. Now the Hussars will go ahead and overrun the trebuchet there. Halberdiers advancing forward. We've got the handful of arbalists here, but right now he's in full ground stance, so they got ripped apart by most of those arbalists. Trebuchet is now engaging, getting some good damage on this keep or castle, as a handful of those from the inside, as well as the elite cataphract. Got a good number of skirmishers here, throwing a bunch of javelins at these cataphracts. Halberdiers here to hold the line. It looks like the Green's front line's being disintegrated by these halberdier and skirmishers. Now just got a whole bunch of halberdiers from both sides and a single hussar. Never mind, no more hussars. Cataphracts coming for a flank, getting intercepted there. More hussars being deployed by yellow. Cataphracts are still taking a bit of a beating there. Villagers push right forward, trying to cut some more resources. We got this tower here. It is a guard tower. Did he actually upgrade it? Yeah, he actually upgraded the tower from watchtowers to guard towers. It took me a bit of a moment to realize, in fact, what the actual name was, because not many people get an upgrade on the towers. Halberdiers advance on forward, skirmishers as well. Got a very good number of skirmishers here. Yellow's forces mostly consist of skirmishers at the moment. Of course, that's very vulnerable to that trample damage from the, from the cataphracts, as we saw earlier. More hussars being put on the field. Looks like yellow has a small reserve of gold, primarily from that single relic he has. Green has spent his reserve of most of his resources, has a small reserve of wood, like his opponent, but right now yellow has a massive reserve of food. Not a lot of wood, not a lot of gold. Green's trying to claim this wood up there from the far side. Hussars overrunning yellow's trebuchets there, very nice. And trebuchet does go down there. More of these hussars advancing on forward. Halberdiers gains good damage there onto these cataphracts. Got some stone walls being pulled by Green. He's trying to solidify the map, and stone walls will be very hard for yellow to deal with. I don't think Yellow's all too happy with how the game's developing at the moment. Overall, also got a little bit of chatting there. Hussars charging forward. Fix arena. He wants a rematch, I'm guessing what he's saying. Skirmishers push way forward. Hussars now advance forward to R. There's a good number of skirmishers here. Not right there, but I think Yellow wants a rematch on Arena. But Green doesn't want to do Arena. He's the one that's deploying a mass spam, but it's a mirror matchup. They have the same assets. Yeah, I think Yellow's going a bit crazy. He's worrying about all the walls he's building? That's part of the game. It's all about feudal control. I'm not sure what Yellow's thinking. He has a good number of forces on the field. It's hard to tell. Yellow has lacking villagers, so he's able to pull out a larger military force moment. He does have a good reserve of wood and food, so he can stand handling less villagers. This allows him to deploy a superiorly large army, but he's lacking gold. Maybe he's off some food to get some gold, to get some siege weapons. Green does got for some arbalists in the back line, trying to get some fancy arrows on these hussars. If you could stand, no, Mangonels won't be useful with the amount of hussars in the field. If you get Mangonels to hit this force, that would be great. Hussars advance. Yellow's hussars are starting to win out. Green's lacking halberdiers. Green's also lacking a lot of food. He has a good amount of wood reserve. He may want to attack half his wood line and start building farms with them. Because right now he needs the food. Got more skirmishers to pull out here. Halberdiers advancing forward with more hussars. Maybe, and he is low on gold as well. Both players have minimal gold. He needs to sell that wood and maybe pull out something else. Mangonels, I think, are still a good idea. More hussars charging forward. Like halberdiers as well. Remember, both players have cheaper skirmishers and pikemen, so they're pretty cheap. Now I've got some siege rams being pulled on the field, which should be able to push down, knock over some buildings. Of course, I have to be careful with these hussars, but they are drawing a lot of fire from the skirmishers. Allowing green to get some time to reinforce. Green's having trouble remaxing out. And right now, since yellow has less military on the field, he's able to pull out. Look at that. Green has way too many villagers to military for his opponent. He can only build up an army of 58. His opponent can pull out more than double than that. So right now, yellow's able to field twice the army size. This is why green's having so much trouble. He has simply too many villagers. He's starting to prep this castle there. If he kills off this trebuchet, that would be great. He still has some defensive keeps to fall back to. I think he just sold off a whole bunch of wood to get out some food. And he's from fighting some consistent damage there. He's almost been constantly firing away on the high ground, which was pretty good at getting some extra bonus damage there. More charging forward. Right now, green's having trouble. Yellow's burning through reserve resources. If green can hold out longer, he'll be in a much better position. Yellow's to rebuild some of his villagers. Yellow's just so far have single queues of stuff. Green as well. Looks like all the Argos went down. More Halberdiers, more Hussars advancing forward. More of these castles are seeing some fire there. Hussars trying to hit these skirmishers. Providing consistent damage there. There's a good number of Arbalists here, which is good. Arbalists trying to fall back. He's making sure those Arbalists stay up and going. He needs them to hit not only the Hussars, but also the Halberdiers. He's starting to hit some of these skirmishers here. He's now not on the high ground anymore, which will reduce the damage output. Very important when dealing with those Hussars. Green's having trouble remaxing. Yellow is also trouble remaxing. Yellow's having trouble really remaxing there, so he's now able to use his reduced villager advantage. He's actually down to screen the bottom barrel of resources. While green has maintained great number of villagers on the field, able to provide a decent amount of income, though he's lacking food. He's collecting too much wood. Take half the wood villagers and throw them in the farms. Build mills. Build some farms where they're at. Harvest finding good damage there. I think he's bluffing right now because he's maintaining good position there. The Arbalists have not been really touched. They've been providing some constant good damage there. Halberdiers stop those Hussars. Hussars still streaming one at a time. The Arbalists being on the high ground gives them, of course, 25% damage. They're doing 12 damage, maybe 13 damage per arrow. He really hates walls that much. It's a standard part of the game. This is Angelo saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.